Okay, let's discuss a few pre-market movers. Let's invite Jenny Horn, co-host of Asterisk Next Gen Investing Asterisk, to discuss that. Greetings, Jenny. It's good to see you again. It seems appropriate that we begin the week by discussing Nvidia, a business we discuss frequently, with a pre-market loss of almost 2.5% in response to a Chinese government decision. It appears to be set for some declines today. Jenny, fill us in on that. Yes, and I'm taking a cue from your discussion because I completely agreed with you all. However, after dropping roughly 2% on Friday, we did witness these renewed Chinese efforts to significantly expand their own semiconductor industry while apparently retaliating against the United States with some of these sanctions. Beijing is increasing the pressure on Chinese businesses to purchase AI chips made domestically rather than those made by Nvidia. Bloomberg was the first to disclose that late Friday. However, keep in mind that the policy is more advisory than a complete ban, so this is partly due to Chinese officials' desire to prevent further escalation of trade or tensions with the United States. However, Nvidia has a sizable market in China. About $6.2 billion, or 11% of its sales, came from China, including Hong Kong, in the first half of fiscal 2025. In the meantime, they are promoting their homegrown chip manufacturers, such as Huawei. However, the announcement earlier today caused the Chinese semiconductor industry to soar sharply, with several of these companies seeing double-digit percentage gains. Separately, we learned this morning from Huawei that ByteDance, the Chinese parent firm of TikTok, also plans to create an AI model trained using Huawei chips. This is rather unusual because it comes as U.S. officials are attempting to limit the social media company's influence on matters of national security. However, the limitations have really been in place since 2022. As you may remember, the Biden administration first announced that exports of a number of these cutting-edge AI processors, including Nvidia's upcoming Blackwell chips, would be restricted. However, many of these businesses immediately rushed to tighten the different limitations so that they could continue to export to China while being subject to them. As of right now, Nvidia is up 145% this year, in my opinion. All of these worries are related to some recent setbacks that are, brief but noteworthy. There are worries that the bubble has burst or that the AI narrative has collapsed. That isn't accurate in my opinion. I believe 64 analysts currently cover this name, and 94% of them are buys or overweights. Some of these drops don't particularly bother me. If anything, they present chances because, as recent declines have shown, shares always bounce back to near all-time highs. For a company that is up 145% on the year, I believe that some of these setbacks are necessary. Indeed, however, it's crucial to remember that Nvidia is unable to sell its most sophisticated AI chips to China nevertheless, which emphasizes that China remains a significant market for Nvidia, especially considering that shares have dropped in response to this news. That's a fantastic argument because, in my opinion, there is a lot of interest on what the next Blackwell leg will look like and what kinds of chips they will be releasing in the upcoming years. They must, of course, meet this anticipated demand, which is why Nvidia has increased by 145% this year. I'd agree. Perhaps this story hasn't received enough attention in the past year. Additionally, limitations aren't often exclusive to Nvidia, particularly in names like these. There may be real difficulties coming for some brands, such as AMD or a few smaller suppliers who are more heavily linked to China. In the meantime, a California measure pertaining to AI regulations was just vetoed. So, Jenny, let us know what's new there. Just the most recent headline, yes. Talking about Nvidia and the most recent developments in the legality of AI seems like a decent approach to get the topic started. After the tech industry voiced some worries, the governor of California did veto a hotly debated AI safety bill on Sunday. They now claim that this could impede innovation and drive AI firms out of the state. According to Newsom, the bill would apply strict criteria even for the most basic operations as long as a major system deploys it, and it does not consider whether an AI system is used in a high-risk setting, includes key decision-making, or contains sensitive data. A variety of groups did strongly oppose the law. We saw that companies vying to create generative AI models, including Alphabet, Microsoft-backed OpenAI, and Meta Platforms, voiced their worries about this plan. One of the main causes of the developing pains in the AI field has been AI safety. Although Elon Musk has been quite outspoken about his concerns, the measure has been vetoed for the time being, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's still anyone's guess, in my opinion. There will probably be more states and governments attempting to block AI's possible influence on day-to-day living in the future. You can comprehend some of the worries behind AI's enormous improvements in the past year if you even know the fundamentals. Yes, without a doubt, regulation, in my opinion, is essential. The only question is how it will be put into practice. I do not think this is the best approach to protecting the public from real threats, stated California Governor Gavin Newsom. We will therefore have to wait and see. Nvidia is down more than 3% today, and the Nasdaq is also suffering. With chip firms Cerebras filing for an IPO, it might be up against some new competitors. Today's Tech Check features our Seema Modi on the story. Hello, Seema. Carl, hello. Some of the largest tech companies, including Altimeter Capital, Benchmark, and Co2, support Cerebras. According to CEO Andrew Feldman, a former AMD executive, the company creates artificial intelligence processors for inference that are less expensive than those made by Nvidia and AMD. According to Feldman, Cerebras wafers are more than 50 times larger than those of its competitors, which speeds up processing in contrast to the industry's fixation with smaller chips. The company's S1 shows that growth is rising amid this AI surge, with 2023 sales jumping by more than 200%. GlaxoSmithKline, the U.S. government, and a UAE conglomerate called G42 are among its clients, despite the fact that it is not yet profitable. In the first half of this year, G42 accounted for 87% of its sales. The S1 also points out that it is vulnerable to risks, such as shifts in policy or demand from the state-backed tech business because of its reliance on its partnership with G42. Competing with Nvidia, the industry leader in AI chips, is no easy task, and switching is expensive. The key question, according to Wall Street analysts, is whether Cerebras can land a sizable order from a hyperscaler that presently builds its AI models using Nvidia. Cerebras uses Taiwan Semiconductor to fabricate its chips, just like Nvidia does. According to what I've been told, the 5-year-old semiconductor business intends to go public this fall with a $7.10 billion valuation goal. A new wave of AI initial public offerings, IPOs, may result from this, according to some private tech investors. Among the several AI businesses emerging in this new era, Cerebras would be among the first to make their public appearance. Other IPO aspirants will be greatly influenced by how investors react to it in the public market. IPOs are what we've been waiting for. We now know how to put it, and I suppose you should be a chip competitor of Nvidia and AI if you plan to go public. I'm grateful, Seema. What do you think about Nvidia? Is a question that seems to be asked by everyone in the financial world, from business associates to casual acquaintances. Some individuals are unaware of Nvidia's existence. That seems to have subsided somewhat. Yes, but that's good for the market. It's healthy. We all felt we should buy GameStop after hearing about it from our hairstylist. The experts are familiar with the businesses they are purchasing from, and you need a wider purchasing base. There are other purchases in addition to the S&P index's movement. I'm not suggesting that Nvidia earnings watch parties will no longer take place, but it's a good thing that the enthusiasm seems to have subsided. Cerebras is another chipmaker that has filed for an IPO outside of the Medicaps.